what's happening in my business. And, we have all electronic gadgets today that I think sometimes take us away from the fundamentals of the things that we should be doing in our life and our business. And I'm a big component of electronics, but don't get me wrong, I actually use them against myself at times too to kind of take shortcuts. And I think sometimes shortcuts with electronics can stop our growth in a big way. And I think one of the things that I'm going to get back to is using my old calendar, the old Hallmark calendar that you get from a store where it has the dates and they're blocked out with hours and times. I'm going to get back to that today and really use the things that I was taught to use early in my career to block out my day. Because if you see a person that has a blocked out calendar with a lot of activity, is probably a person with a lot of growth. And I think sometimes using electronics, we get away from blocking out our time and scheduling our time properly, and we get away from it, and we get away from the things the activities that's going to grow our business, because we're moving so fast that we don't control our time. We don't set time away from the day to do certain things to make sure that we ensure our self-success. And one of the things I used to do, and I'm going to get back to it today, and I'll be the first one to say it publicly, is I'm going to set up my inbound and outbound time calls, slots, where when I say outbound calls, I'm only making outbound calls to people that I'm exposing to the business. I'm not going to take any inbound calls during those times, because that's the time that I'm going to be exposing my business, staying in phase one. And then I'm going to have time where I'm taking inbound calls from my 3 to 5 key pinnacle leaders that I schedule time with every single day to make sure that I'm there to help them with their 3-way calls and their welcome calls and the things that are conducive to helping them grow as well. So that's one way that I'm going to control my calendar moving forward. And I recommend you do the same. So you're going to have an outbound call schedule where you're going to sit there for an hour, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is, whatever your day allows. Some people are working part-time, seriously part-time. Some of us are seriously part-time. I never say full-time because it doesn't sound very good when I'm meeting somebody out in the field that I'm working something full-time. So I'll say seriously part-time. But I want to make sure that I'm blocking the right time out with the right activities. So the first thing I'm going to look for is my outbound time. What times during the day, each day, that I'm going to designate to outbound calls. The next thing I'm going to block out is what times am I going to set myself aside, available to set appointments with my pinnacle leaders, my 3 to 5 pinnacle leaders. Now, this is how the conversation would be. I would pick up the phone and contact those 3 to 5 pinnacle leaders and let them know that I got time slots available from 1 to 2 or 3 to 5 or 4 to 7, whatever those time slots are. And I let everybody else know if those individuals call me during those times, I got to hang up and take their calls, because those are scheduled time slots for my pinnacle leaders. And once I start doing this, it was amazing how my team and everybody around me start really incorporating time slots. And we were able to utilize each other's skill sets and times and match each other's calendars up to drive a lot of momentum. It's critical that we do that, especially now that we're about to crank up some more broadcasts, because I believe that now it's time for us to do more broadcasts, because we got more people that can do quality presentations, and the speed of the system is built on 2 and 72. So we want to get people in front of it, but the outbound calls are critical. So I would probably schedule my outbound calls in between the live broadcasts, and in between the live broadcasts, I have my inbound calls coming from my pinnacle leaders. So that's how I would build it. The events, the broadcasts, ladies and gentlemen, are big events. And when I see people texting and making phone calls and doing chats between broadcasts, it tells me they don't understand the system. The system, ladies and gentlemen, is to be on the broadcast. That's part of the core commitments of building a big business. That's a time slot that you slot out. Nothing should be scheduled at 9 p.m. Eastern. There should be nothing else going on in the United States other than a leadership being on the broadcast with guests. Period. There should be no other broadcast schedule other than the United States. If you got other countries, move it. Move it to 9:30. Move it to 10. But that's your core market. That's where you live. That's where you should build. You should always build from the inside out. Let me tell you why. It's easier to communicate with people. They're on the same time zone. It's easier to travel to the markets because it costs a whole lot less. There's a lot of different dynamics to building from the inside out compared from the outside in. Something happens in one market and you have all your volume in one market, and something happens from a government standpoint or legality in that country, not having anything to company, your income is exposed. So you want diversity. You want to start domestically, inside, and build out. That's why the broadcasts are critical. So if I have a heavy international business, my goal would be to hurry up and get something domestically going on because, number one, you want a plane ticket to go somewhere overseas, it's going to cost you a lot of money. It's going to cost you a lot of time, a lot of travel time. Now, we have technology, but we all know at the end of the day, you still got to build relationships. You still got to make sure that you're in front of individuals, teaching, sharing, and inspiring them to do what they need to do. So I always want to make sure that my calendar is built for success. I have outbound calls blocked out. I have inbound calls blocked out. I have the broadcast blocked out. There's nothing else going on at those times. That leadership converges on the events. That's why it's an event. It's a big deal. We need to make sure leadership identifies those events and builds towards those events and through those events. After the broadcast, the phone should be going crazy. The phone should be going crazy. And that's the culture that we want to create. But it all starts with the calendar, blocking out those times and scheduling your times and scheduling yourself accordingly to make those things happen. So that's what I want to share this morning on the call because I got people texting me. Can you do a quick chat at 9:07? 9:07, I'm on the broadcast. I'm on the broadcast with guests. At noon, if unless I'm in a meeting with corporate or I'm flying somebody or whatever, and I'm traveling, I'm on the broadcast with a guest. Presenting or not, I'm on the broadcast. And that's part of our culture. We got to get better at creating the dynamics of a winning team. And a winning team converge on the events. They converge on the events, and they bring people to the events, and they promote the events, and they edify the events, and they build culture around the events. That broadcast is a big, big deal. And I want everybody on this call to understand that. So if you're texting in group me while the broadcast is going on, you're probably going to get a text from me. It's like, why are you doing that? You should be on the broadcast doing your business. If you don't have a guest, get on there and listen and learn as the presenters that are doing great jobs, learn how to present, learn how to listen, learn how to play team, there's going to be something you're going to get from that presentation. I've never, ever been on a bad presentation. There is no such thing. If a presentation is going on, they're all great. They're all phenomenal. The speakers are all great because you never know what you're going to hear or what you're going to feel at that presentation. It's going to take your business to the next level. So that's what I'm going to share this morning on the Prosperity Mindset Call, Boot Camp. The boot camp coming up here in Tampa, the 27th and the 28th. Let me give you the agenda. The 27th is a Friday night. It will be a team-building event. It will not be at corporate on Friday, okay? Somebody says, well, we're going to be touring. Ladies and gentlemen, we're there to build a business. We're there to learn the business, okay? So Saturday, we're going to do our thing on Saturday afternoon, in the morning all the way up to the afternoon. So lunch will be provided right there on site, right beside, on the training side of the corporate office. We won't have to leave to go anywhere. It'll be an incredible event. You don't want to miss it. But who's registered? I see some people registered. There's more people registered outside of Florida that's in Florida. So people at 3 or 4 hour ride, that room should be packed out. We're only going to be able to probably house 50 to 75 people because of the space. And we don't want more than that because we want to be able to get intimate and really do some digging in and help some people learn some things. So I'm excited about it. It'll be another big boot camp. We can see already the people that were in the Houston boot camp, their business is moving, and they're moving in the right direction. Great things are happening. And I'm looking forward to another big event here in Tampa at the end of the month. So I appreciate everybody jumping on the call this morning. Let's build big for the noon and 9 p.m. calls today. Let's go out and do something great for the people we love and we care about. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the balance of your day.